The wreckage of the Meridian drifted in the void, a twisted monument to humanity's first and what many believed would be its last encounter with the Galactic Empire. Captain Sarah Chen had died instantly when the Imperial cruiser's particle beam tore through the bridge. No warning, no negotiation, just cold, efficient annihilation. The surviving crew watched from their escape pods as the Empire's warship, a vessel the size of a small moon, repositioned itself. Its scanner arrays swept across the debris field with methodical precision. They were hunting for survivors. "Cut all power," Commander Marcus Webb whispered into his pod's comm unit, knowing the others would hear. "Go dark. Now." 43 pods went silent, their occupants holding their breath as the massive predator prowled through the wreckage. The Empire had rules about first contact, protocols written in languages humans had only begun to decipher. But those rules apparently didn't apply to species they deemed primitive. Humanity's crime, existing in a star system the Empire had marked for resource extraction. Sarah Chen had tried to explain, tried to negotiate. The Empire's response had been immediate and absolute. Webb stared at the small holographic display in his pod, watching his captain's life signs flatline for the 100th time. They'd known the risks of deep space exploration. They'd prepared for hostile environments, equipment failures, even aggressive alien life. But this was something else entirely. This was an empire that saw sentient beings as obstacles, no different from asteroids in a mining field. The Imperial cruiser completed its sweep and, apparently satisfied, began to move away. Webb waited. They all waited. Hours passed in suffocating silence until the cruiser finally jumped to hyperspace, leaving only the wreckage and the hidden pods behind. "Sound off," Webb ordered, his voice hoarse. One by one, the pods responded. 43 souls remained from a crew of 44. They'd all witnessed the same horror. They'd all lost the same captain. And they all understood the same terrible truth. Humanity had just made an enemy it couldn't possibly defeat. "Commander!" Lieutenant Yuki Tanaka's voice crackled through the comm. "What do we do?" Webb looked at the debris field, at the pieces of the Meridian spinning slowly in the darkness. Every instinct screamed for vengeance, for justice, for something other than what he was about to say. "We run," he said finally. "We run faster than any species in the galaxy has ever run before." The decision seemed cowardly at first. Some crew members protested, demanded they return to Earth and mount a defense. But Webb understood what they didn't yet grasp. The Empire had hundreds of cruisers like the one that killed Captain Chen. They controlled thousands of star systems. They'd been spacefaring for millennia, while humanity had barely left its own solar system. Fighting was suicide. But running? Running was survival. And survival was humanity's oldest, most refined skill. The escape pods made it back to Earth 6 months later. The Solar Congress listened to their testimony with growing horror. Military commanders wanted to mobilize, to prepare defenses, to make humanity's home system a fortress, but Webb stood before them with a different proposal. "We can't outfight them," he explained, his voice steady despite the weight of his words. "We can't out-tech them, but we can outrun them. We scatter. We spread across the galaxy like seeds in the wind. We make ourselves impossible to eradicate." The plan was audacious, desperate, and completely against human nature. Humanity had always clustered, built cities, created nations. The idea of deliberately fragmenting their species seemed like cultural suicide. But the alternative was literal extinction. Within a year, Project Diaspora began. Thousands of ships, each carrying a small colony, launched from Earth in every direction. No two ships had the same destination. No central authority knew all their locations. They communicated through dead drops and encrypted messages scattered across the galaxy, always moving, always one step ahead of Imperial expansion. The Empire, when it finally arrived at Earth's solar system 30 years later, found only automated stations and a single message broadcast on all frequencies. "We were here. You made us leave. But we'll be back," humanity ran. They ran to distant nebulas and uncharted systems. They hid in asteroid fields and established bases on worlds the Empire deemed worthless. They learned to adapt, to survive on minimum resources, to build civilizations that could pack up and relocate within weeks if necessary. And while they ran, they learned. Every Imperial ship they encountered taught them something new. Every alien species they met added to their knowledge. Humanity became students of survival, masters of adaptation, experts in the art of persistence. Generations passed. The children of the Meridian survivors grew up on colony ships, hearing stories of Earth and Captain Chen. They learned why they ran, why they hid, why they could never stop moving. But they also learned something else: how to fight while running, how to strike from the shadows, how to make an empire bleed without ever facing it head-on. The Empire called them the Scattered, a species too cowardly to stand and fight. They laughed at humanity's endless flight, at their refusal to claim territory or build monuments. What they didn't understand, what they couldn't understand, was that humanity wasn't running away from anything. They were running toward something, toward a future where they'd be fast enough, smart enough, and numerous enough that the Empire could never catch them all. Toward a day when the hunters would realize they'd been chasing the most dangerous prey in the galaxy. Commander Webb died at 93, on a colony ship somewhere in the Andromeda approaches. His last words, recorded and transmitted across the human network, were simple: keep running, keep learning, keep surviving. They took one of us. Someday, somehow, we'll make them regret it. And humanity ran on, a species transformed by tragedy into something the galaxy had never seen before. An entire civilization built on motion, on adaptation, on the simple, stubborn refusal to die. The Empire had killed Captain Sarah Chen, thinking they'd eliminated a problem. Instead, they'd created something far more dangerous: a species with nothing left to lose and infinity to hide in. The human diaspora spread across the stars, and the galaxy would never be the same.